Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big man Boisterous coming to you with some Masters League Magnificence out of the Tal'Darim altar. Down here in the bottom right hand corner we have HanPulse spawning in as the blue Protoss, and up here in the top left hand corner we have Karlsteiner spawning in as his opponent, the yellow Terran. As this game begins, I realize I'm at ×4. God damn it. Okay, great way to start off. Anyway, these guys are going to be talking in Korean, I'm guessing, for like the entire match. So I don't know. I don't know what they're saying. don't ask me. We have a gateway and an assimilator coming out, along with actually just a barracks, but he is dropping a supply depot just really annoyingly. This is one of those things that I'm surprised more people don't do, because it prevents scouting. I mean, mainly just because I don't think it really has that much more of an effect on your economy or anything like that. It's it's just an extra 100 minerals, which I'm pretty sure Terrans built up at this point, right before they get their orbital supply or orbital command. So yeah, not surprised. Not sure why people don't drop like this random supply depot just to block off scouting, because it's very effective, and extremely annoying at the same time. And I think this probe is going to get caught by this marine. Yeah, that's not good for that probe. Yeah, that probe's dead. Alright, so it looks like we have the cyber core going up in the back. This SUV is not going to be prevented from scouting, so he's going to know everything that HanPulse is doing. However, interestingly, the Terran player hasn't gone for any sort of refinery yet. Usually you see them go for a refinery a bit earlier than this, so it looks like it's going to be a fast expand play, but I'm still surprised there hasn't been a refinery out. And they're finally good. The refinery does go down. It's just, I think, a little bit late. But although he is going for a double refinery, so I guess it isn't that bad. It's just kind of an awkward timing, I would say. But that's just me. We do have a warp gate coming in. Not getting chrono boosted, so it looks like this chrono boost is going to get saved for probes or something else. Yeah, it's going to be used on probes, so he doesn't really feel any pressure, so he's not going to be going for that really fast warp gate, or he also doesn't want to apply any pressure, because I'm sure that they think that Karlsteiner is going to easily hold it off, which he probably would with this bunker up. We do have the first bunker, or the first factory going down for Karlsteiner. Yeah, again, I think that this is kind of interesting, going for this double refinery really early, right after you get that command center. I think actually going for third gas as soon as your natural goes up. Oh no, it's interesting. Oh well. The probe is going to come out and just take this Selnaga tower. I'm surprised he's taking this Selnaga tower, to be honest, and this one, actually, because you only really need the ones here and here from your opponent's base, because honestly, if they're going to do like any sort of drop play or anything, they're going to go out and around the map, and having these two towers doesn't really help you. However, these two towers at least watch ground pushes, so I don't know, that's my rationale whenever I'm playing on Tal'Darim. Not a whole lot is going on in this game right now. We do have two facts coming out with Blue Flame Hellion, and I don't think that's the greatest idea versus Protoss, a really fast Blue Flame Hellion play. I mean, I guess it can work, however, on a map like Tal'Darim, where it's just so macro-based, really, I don't think it will, because those Hellions are going to push out across the map, and they're going to be really easy to see if he goes for any sort of big numbers with them. And actually a reactor is going down, so it looks like we are going to have like reactored Blue Flame Hellion 3 factories. That's a lot of factories. Yeah, it might be reactored Blue Flame Hellions. Yeah, it looks like it will be. This factory is probably going to lift up and land on his buddy's reactor, so we can get those double Hellions out. Yeah, just a very kind of standard play coming up from both players with a 3 fact happening, and it looks like fast blink play with like +1, because he hasn't really done anything with this robo, and I don't think he's going to go up to Colossus. after seeing, 9 Hellions at his base, because 9 Hellions is basically means, there's a pretty heavy count of factories at your opponent, especially that amount of Hellions this early. Actually, it's only gonna be 5 Hellions. Well then, the missile turret's going down, so he might actually be a little bit afraid of some sort of drop harasser. Actually, I guess this missile turret might just be to pick off observers. It probably is, because when an observer is rallied, it goes exactly in that pattern and gets shut down by the missile turret. So anyway, these blue flame Hellions are not going to do a lot. They're going to come in and they might actually get a lot of. Ooh, that is a lot of sentries. Wow, he just roasted like 6 sentries, and I think he only lost 1. Maybe. Yeah, I think he lost like 1 Hellion. I think he's lost a Hellion in the worker this game. So yeah, that was not the greatest engagement for the Protoss player. But then again, I don't know. That was just very. I think that's really the extent of the damage that these Hellions can cause. I don't think he's going to manage to catch HanPulse off guard again against these Hellions. So I don't know quite why he's swinging around. I think he should just return them home and keep them for a push, so that he can try to counter any sort of zealots that are coming out from HanPulse. Actually, he might be able to get. Ooh, that was close. If that other sentry had lived a little bit longer, I think they would have gotten like a solid wall off here, and that would have been really quite bad. However, he did manage to snipe that sentry off. Yeah, not a whole lot going on still. The mech is coming out for Karlsteiner, so he's going to have a fairly strong attack force pretty soon, since he's going for like this really heavy. Ooh, wow, 6 factory? Yeah, that is 6 factory. Alright, so he's going for this extremely strong 6 factory play. And it's only one of them has a reactor, so it's going to be basically all siege tanks or Thors. And that's going to be a fairly nasty build to hold off, actually, especially if you can push at the right time and actually do a push. I think it's going to be one of the scarier timings, and this observer is going to live. Alright, so that observer just barely flew around the edge of that missile turret, and now it's in the main base. So he sees all of these factories. I think that is going to be pivotal in him holding this off. I'm surprised he isn't making like 1 or 2 immortals to hopefully draw tank fire while he moves his entire army in, because like 1 immortal can take a volley from I think like 12 tanks approximately. I think yeah, 1 immortal can take a volley from 12 upgraded tanks. I'm fairly sure. Or 12 unupgraded tanks, excuse me. And that's a pretty nice thing to have, because that means that you can just kind of move your immortal into range first, and then blink all your stalkers in and charge all your zealots in. And it basically, hopefully you can pick off 4 or 5 siege tanks before they're ready to fire again, and then basically you win. We do have Psionic Storm coming down, and I do like that choice, because moving tanks out of Psi Storm is a pretty hard thing to do. Yeah, fairly difficult. Do they really not have numbers on their research? God, just this high amount, causing heavy damage to every unit in the target area. Want numbers, Blizzard. Ooh, and oh, the Hellions almost get caught there, and actually they could get caught right now. However, they're going after the sentries, and oh, the last shot does not get off. And yeah, there goes every Hellion. And that's why you should have gotten home with those Hellions, because now when like a giant zealot ball pops out, he's not gonna have nearly as many Hellions as he could have had. And Hellions clean up zealots pretty handily, because they counter light. And yeah, I don't think that was the greatest idea. But it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Oh, at least his tanks are going to counter the stalkers quite decently, because they have extra damage versus armored, and they are +1. So it's only going to take like 3 tank volleys to take out a stalker. Yeah, 3. So with the AoE damage, most of these stalkers are going to go down really fast. We do have the pylon going down at the middle of the field, probably for reinforcements. And yeah. Now again, this is kind of an odd stalemate position, although I'm going to rant a little bit about this tank position and the fact that it's really, really not that good. I don't condone this, because he's kind of covering this Xel'Naga, and that's all. I think like a better tank position is like right here, have like 1 tank and then have like 5 tanks down here, because then you're covering like this Xel'Naga, but these 5 tanks can also shoot right up to this ridge. So you're also covering, you know, your entire base. You're basically walling off your base, you know, because they can't shoot anywhere from right here, or they can't go anywhere from right here to this Xel'Naga ridge. So they really need to punch through at a good place, and I don't think, and it's going to be hard to find that good place. But with your tanks positioned like this, they can do this. And also, he moves in a little bit further. Oh god, he did. Oh, and his High Templar were the first ones to cross that line. Not what you want. You don't want your High Templar crossing that line first. And he's going to keep running his stalkers into there. God, that was kind of nasty. More stalkers are coming out. I think he just needs zealots at this point. Zealots are pretty good against tanks, just because they can close fast and they cause tanks to shoot each other, essentially. Also, they don't take any bonus damage from tanks, so they clean up pretty well. And these stalkers just are not going to. He's sniping off, you know, 1 tank here, 1 tank there, which is the right choice to make here. He's being quite cost efficient with these stalkers. So I think he only lost like 1 stalker for a tank there, which is a pretty good trade. If not for the actual money value of the trade, just for the fact that tanks take a lot longer to produce. And man, this is crazy macro. This is 8 factories now. So that's a pretty high number of factories, just going straight up mech against his opponent. We do have 3 reactor Hellion factories now, which is kind of surprising after he only went for 1 out of his original 6 and then just add on 2 more. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, this is still a fairly dangerous force. However, I'm not sure. There we go. Alright, so he's denying the high ground vision now. And this is actually kind of bad for Karlsteiner, because now he's completely entrenched. He is stuck in this defensive position. He can't do anything outside of it. And even though he is technically 1 base up from his opponent, I think that the Protoss is perfectly fine with that. Going for Archons, actually. Archons can be pretty good meat shields, especially because they're psionic and not armored, so they only take 41 damage from siege tanks. So it'll take, you know, almost actually 10 siege tank shots to take out an Archon. Oh no, 9 technically. Alright, so 9 siege tank shots to take out an Archon. It's like 4 to take out a Zealot. So this is a pretty strong army. I think you should wait for storms on these High Templars though. Because despite how, because storms are, oh man, he's not being cost effective. And where are the storms? Oh god, the Protoss, the High Templar were just on move command. Oh, he needed those storms. Those storms would have completely cleaned up the battle for him. I don't know why he wasn't using them. But it looks like with these Zealots coming out, he's going to be able to easily crush this push. Because these charge lots will absolutely demolish tanks. He's probably going to get 2, maybe. Yeah, there's the second and the third actually manages to get a surround on that last tank as it turns around and try to take a shot. So yeah, this is, I don't know, this is a very interesting position, because on one hand you have the Terran player who is basically stuck on these 5 bases. The Protoss player controls the other half of the map with an extremely mobile force. that will at least trade with his opponent, if not crush his army directly. But these Hellions coming out are actually going to clean up his are actually going to clean up the Zealots quite nicely, so the Protoss player is going to be forced to back out of there. I still don't know why we aren't seeing more High Templar play, because Storm is a pretty good ability against Terran. Again, especially if the Terran is meching, because siege tanks are hard to move when they're sieged up. And it looks like the entire pack of Hellions is going to get sniped again, so that's pretty nice. These Stalkers are going to... I don't know quite where those Stalkers were heading. 2 Hellions are actually going to get through, but it doesn't matter, because there's 14 Stalkers warping in over here. Where are all of his... How many... Okay. It looks like he has 16. So he has 16 gate production off of 4 bases, which is a pretty healthy production cycle. Yeah. And by pretty healthy production cycle, I mean like how I used to play 4v4s. Just go up to 16 gateways and mass produce 3 Stalkers. It was a pretty good strategy. Just don't worry about it. And yeah, that orbital, that planetary had no shot in hell. I don't think it actually got a Stalker in the in like the few seconds it was alive. And actually, these Stalkers are going to start blinking up to the top, which is nice. Nice strategy right there. He's going to need to wait a bit longer for these Stalkers to have their blinks up, but I don't think he even wants to use them. He's going to get 2 factories and a lot of attachments. And honestly, the attachments are a real dangerous thing to lose right now, because now he needs to stop production on all these factories and reattach stuff, because he can't make siege tanks out of any of them. And siege tanks are really what he needs right now. He doesn't really need the Hellions so much. Actually, all right. So he's going back to where he was before with the reactor tech lab. It looks like the macro orbital command actually took some flack there, but it doesn't really matter. The SCVs came off the line to repair it. And yeah, this actually might be game. I'm not sure if the Terran player can hold off this Protoss force, especially since they caught him unsieged, and that's a ton of damage done to him. And yeah, there goes his entire army. So I think that's going to be it for Karlsteiner. I don't think there's going to be anything else that he can do to clean this up. So, yeah. Yeah, this is going to be game over. Most certainly. So anyway, guys, if you want more Boisterous action, you can head on over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. If you want your games commentated, send them on into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. Also, you can go ahead and post on the Battle.net thread. I'm going to have some news out there probably tomorrow about a new thing that I want to start doing. As soon as I decide quite how I want to roll it out. So, you know, keep checking there. I think Karlsteiner does leave the game. So, anyway, guys, go check the Battle.net thread. You know, within the next couple days, I'll probably have some news out on there. Go check out all of my VODs over at youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. And, yeah, send your games into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. So, guys, this is Boisterous, signing out.